Welcome everybody to the Genesis Mindset. So first, we're going to set the stage because it looks like Pulsechain is really getting primed for some serious pumps. Obviously, now with the inflation rate massively reduced with Inc, basically 10x less rewards. So this is incentivizing people to pull the liquidity, potentially also incentivizing people to actually trade on the chain. But when they pull the liquidity, things can pump a lot faster. So the ink yield is going down, reduced by 10x. So things can actually pump a lot faster. We also had the 7 days stake the other day. And as Puffy already rightfully points out, 5 days. So the countdown, 5 days. So we really want to watch this. What's actually going to happen on the 7th day? So Richard or the OA wallet, whoever the OA wallet is making moves. So there's things happening on the blockchain. We've seen a massive pump in Ink today. Also, today I'll be exploring the genesis of Atropa. It's not something that I've ever really done in this particular way. It's something I thought about yesterday towards the end of the episode, and I think it'd be extremely cool. And so I've just basically set everything up. I haven't actually explored it. I'm going to explore it live on stream. But there are some elements that I have explored because the holy grail of cryptocurrency is to skip a bear market. And while I don't think we can skip the full force of a bear market, if the Atropa ecosystem is a truly decentralized financial system, then it should be set up in such a way where liquidity flows from one asset class to another asset class to replicate a risk on and risk off type of environment. So obviously cryptocurrency at the moment is beholden to risk on, risk off environments. And so there was previously, to be perfectly honest, the in and out flows between like gold and as a risk off asset and cryptocurrency and stocks as a risk on asset is not as clear as it used to be because things are so manipulated, but it used to be very much in this way. So if the Atropa ecosystem is a truly decentralized financial system and it does it better than the traditional financial system, then we should actually be able to set this up, or Maria has probably started to set this up. And I have seen the clues of that as I was going through this particular process. So for me, honestly, I feel like this is some mega alpha. I feel like I'm actually losing a huge part of my edge just by sharing this information. But you know what? Coexistence, Stephen, I want us all to win. There's going to be enough food on the table for all of us. And that's really, truly what I hope. And I truly hope in the bottom of my heart that the people that do listen to this, and if this ends up eventuating, are going to be the ones that are going to use that capital to change the world and make it a better place, make their families' lives better, make the world around them better. That's what I really hope. So whatever, I don't care. Abundance mindset is the way to go. So let's get into, first of all, just Ink. As we can see, Ink had a gigantic pump. So I've just shown it. I don't usually go this close on resolution, but this is a 4-hour chart. It's basically done over 100% pump in the day. So it's wild. So all that took was Richard to reduce the yield, essentially. So people have started pulling the liquidity, and then this, obviously, as they're pulling the liquidity, will make it pump a lot faster. So the thicker the liquidity, the more liquidity it actually, the more volume it takes, the more inflows and outflows, the more swaps to actually move the asset. So one of the key features of Hex pumping to over 10,000x was the fact that the liquidity, the tokens in liquidity versus the total supply, which is obviously one of the features of the origin address, means that the token can pump extremely easily. So Hex can have a gigantic market cap, but it can pump very easily with a very small portion of liquidity. This is one of the features of it. So it almost feels like it seems like things are gearing up. We've had the pump tires launched just a few days ago. We've had the 7-day stake, which we're now 3 days into. We're on the 3rd day now. And now we've had this Ink thing where we've had a massive pump and the Ink yield has gone radically down. So it's naturally going to incentivize people to pull their liquidity and either put it into other things or trade it and swap it. So really, it's like whether you want to take it as like, oh, Richard's signaling us, or the OA signaling us that things are about to get moving, or if it's just very simply like, this is what the blockchain is saying, and I'm now going to follow the data that things more than likely are going to start to move based on the blockchain evidence. And I like to do both. I like to have that kind of speculative, faith-based position, and then that logical, research-based position, and you put the two together, and that's the real alpha, in my opinion. So, all right. So I wanted to share this tweet as well from Ashiki. So Ashiki_crypto, very, 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 very good Twitter account to follow. Just FYI. So actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in the chat. So Richard Hart's ETH sacrifice fund is back into profit, but how? ETH is still at 2,600, and Richard Hart bought ETH at 3,700. Pulsechain liquidity is still being pulled as people realize the PulseX Farms APR was cut by 10x. With less liquidity, prices are easier to move. Since yesterday, a $200 million rotation into Hex changed from a 650x price impact to 950x. So in other words, since yesterday, rotating $200 million into Hex, prior to a few days ago, it was 650x, but now a 200 million rotation is going to equal a 950x. So basically, it's moving the price. Oh boy, I mean, an extra 300x. That's really quite substantial. So that's a 300x difference. That's as if the value of Richard Hart's ETH sacrifice fund just grew by 46.15%, which equals a $3,800 ETH. In terms of value rotation into Pulsechain, Richard Hart's ETH sac fund is now back into profit. So obviously not by the Ethereum price, but by the power of that liquidity. If he chooses to deploy it into Pulsechain to pump and buy his own tokens, now he has that same power with a less value just by the amount of liquidity that's been pulled out of liquidity pools. So this is very, very interesting. So he used this particular website. I asked him what the website was. Yeah, he's got it here. So check price impact for yourself. Pampi.app. So I'm gonna retweet this. It doesn't get anywhere near the engagement that he should. So very interesting outlook, right? Very, very interesting outlook. So there's all these different ways of looking at the market, right? So obviously it's not like, some people would probably have a go at this and be like, oh, well, this is like, it's not factually correct. But in one particular way it is, and in another particular way it's not. So, I like to have fun with these things. I like to just accept and embrace all perspectives, because acceptance is the mind of love, and that's what I always try to do. So anyway, I just want to set the scene with what's going on with Pulsechain. So really, I'm feeling extremely bullish. Some of my onboards that I've onboarded are doing very, very well. They're very, very happy, and they've reached out and they've thanked me. And you know what? I thank them. I didn't actually say thank you to my friend Matt. So Matt, if you're watching this, thank you to you, actually, that you actually trusted and believed in me to actually follow the things that I've been talking about for all these years. So, and I really do believe that you will be rewarded heavily. And I mean, by the sounds of it, you're already probably way beyond your own expectations. So now, going down the Atropa deep web. So I'll tell you what, I need to actually start writing these. I might start writing these numbers down, Atropa deep web, because people are asking me to do the timestamp. So maybe now, as I watch, I can quickly write the timestamp, so I don't have to listen to the whole thing again. So okay, I'll just tell you how I did it. So this particular website, these are all in my description. The links are in my description. What I just did just for today is, because there's over 300 in here, so I want to do this over a period of time. Maybe this will be the only time that I ever do it. Maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. I'm just going to see how I feel with it. I'm going to see how it goes today, see if it leads to anything, because really, one of the things that I really like doing is going back to the origin of things. And then, we're almost a year and 3/4 into the Atropa ecosystem. So going back to the origin, where it is now, my understanding on it now, go back to the origin and reassess what was my understanding then, what's my understanding now, and see if I can pick up anything new. Because this ecosystem is constantly evolving and it's way beyond my brain capacity to understand. So it's taken me like literally a year and a half to study this really, really in depth. And I continuously say, I don't even feel like I know anything, but somehow people consider me to be the expert on this. I suppose it's just because I have a YouTube channel and I talk about it. So what I have done today, so I'll just outline to you the process, is obviously this shows the deployment date. So all I've done today is I've just gotten the deployment dates of everything that was deployed in in May. So during the 5th, I wanted to go all the way to the 6th. I think I definitely will. I think at the very least, I'm going to do this up to probably 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th September. Wow, he did a lot in September. I'll probably do it to the end of September. You know what? I'll probably just do it indefinitely, but definitely I want to do it at the very least to the end of May, because I feel like these are, May, things are happening. He didn't do much in August. He didn't deploy much in August hang on. May, oh my gosh, January, February, March, April, May, June. So June is the 6th. July, he deployed one thing in July and one thing in August. So obviously the core of the ecosystem was done or like really established within May and June. So I at least definitely want to look at those. But just for today, I've only looked at these few tokens. So May, everything that was created in May. So Atropa down, TSFI, whatever this is, Yule, and then this is writing, I believe. So I'm just going to look at those. And then what I did, I'll just share with you the process. I use Liquidity Pools Versal.app, and I copied and pasted these contract addresses. And then from Liquidity Pools Versal.app, I went to the pool age, and I just ended up getting the tokens that were, the pools that were the earliest pools up until the end of May. So I haven't got all the liquidity pools, just the ones that were to the end of May. So just to kind of set the scene. So, okay. So then what I did was I created a multi-charts with all those tokens, and damn, I actually forgot to do this quickly. So I wanted to quickly show the ratios in relation to the actual token that it's bonded with. So rather than in the USD value, because I think the way that it's bonded is the more important part. Because when I was first exploring this, when I was noticing those relationships of how things were correlated in interesting ways, things were going up against each other, down against each other. I mean, see, this is interesting. This is an interesting point right here, because it's like it's a key level with down. It's a very key level with down. And so when there's a reversal and it's pumping, down is pumping, it means Atropa is dumping. So I don't really see that happening. The way that I anticipate this happening is that this is going to continue to go down, down, down until the end of the bull market. And then I believe that, Maria's spoken about this being his take profit token. So I believe at the end of the bull market, Maria is going to sell the shit out of Atropa into down, and then down is going to pump. That's what I really believe. So that's my speculation. And there's a few other clues that I've just noticed today which indicate that this is a potential. So TSFI, Atropa, similar kind of setup. So what makes this interesting again is Maria has spoken about this as being his team's take profit. So therefore, as this continues to drop, this is where understanding the ratios is super important. As this continues to drop, actually, maybe I'll put this in 2 columns to make it a little bit. Oh crap! I'll just put it in 2 columns so the charts are at least slightly bigger on the screen in case you're watching this on your phone. No, I think 3 is better actually, because I'm showing it in the weekly as well. So as long as you can just see the line of what's happening. Sorry. So TSFI is his team's take profit. So it's almost like, look at this. So basically, TSFI just continues to go down also in the same way that down has gone down against Atropa. So therefore, at the top of the bull market, Atropa, let's say, is going to be $7.50. And then what are you going to do? Well, the normal play in a linear system like what Hex previously was, in a linear system, the normal play is when Hex gets to 56 cents, well, then I'm going to sell into a stable coin, and then I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to buy whatever I like with it. That's the normal play. But here, within an ecosystem of hedges against each other, things that are like yin to yang, the play could be buying or selling your Atropa into TSFI, and then TSFI pumps during the bear market as people rotate their Atropa profits into TSFI, and we could get something like this. For example, like if this, honestly, the ultimate thing, and again, like this is pure speculation, because I mean, I even mentioned this to my boy Muddy, and I definitely agree, like the holy grail of cryptocurrency is skipping the bear market. And every year, every cycle, you hear like, oh, this is a hedge against the bear market. Hex, this was a hedge against the bear market, but it wasn't. The system was linear. Could this actually be a hedge against the bear market? Could this actually represent a scenario where literally through the bull market, I'm going to say September, and then what? How long is a bear market going to go for? And then so actually, what bear market usually lasts a lot quicker, doesn't it? Then the bear market's like this, and then just slowly making its way down to the next 4-year cycle. So we end up seeing potentially something like this, and then the next 4-year cycle, and then away we go. That's, from my perspective, if this system, if Maria's trying to set this up as an ecosystem that is also a viable option within the bear market, it would need to do something like this. It would really need to do something like this. And I believe that there is a very strong possibility of this, just based on some liquidity pool setups that I've seen. So I'm going to go into those liquidity pool setups in a little bit of time. So first, I'm going to continue to go through this process because it's a Saturday night. I'm a nerd virgin and I love studying. So this is just my architecture days all over again. Boy, we had some fun times in the South Perth house. I remember just watching what's his name? John Pilger. I used to watch so many documentaries, What the Bleep, Down the Rabbit Hole. I'd have documentaries here on the side and then doing my architecture work on the other side. Doing some other things as well to keep you going through your uni days. Okay, so what have we got? So teddy bear to Atropa, teddy bear to this is legal to down. So which is very interesting. So legal to down, this was an interesting relationship that I saw yesterday. So this is what I'm talking about. So down to Atropa is weak. So Atropa has the strength against down. But against legal, down has the strength against legal. So again, in a linear system, it would just be like, well, I don't know, Shiba Inu's pumping. So against Ethereum, it's going to be strong. Against DAI, it's going to be strong. Against USDC, it's going to be strong. And that's it. There's nothing else to compare it to. But here, there's things that are like strong against this again, but then weak against that. So it's creating this like dichotomy between different kinds of tokens, which from my perspective, obviously, I've always spoken about this as an ecosystem, the Atropa ecosystem. It's a totality. It's this whole living organism. So when you have things that are diametrically opposed, this is very interesting. This is very interesting because if people keep an eye on these sorts of charts, again, just for example, like let's play out this scenario. This is something that I've spoken about a lot in the past in the bear market, how Atropa can be like a protection in the bear market or a protection to the downside pressure in the bear market. So here, let's just say this continues to happen. Then all of a sudden people start selling Atropa for down, and then down just starts pumping. Well, you know what? That means legal's going to start pumping against down. So then it's like a counterbalance against down, because as down is hang on a second. What have I done here? I'm getting confused. Wait a minute. Down is weak. Yeah. What no, I've got it right. Hang on a second. What I need to do is I just want to invert this just to make it very clear. So down is first. Yeah, that's going to make it easier to understand, even for my own brain. So you can see here, down is weak against Atropa, but it's very strong. It's very strong against legal. So what ends up happening here? What ends up happening here when down starts like pumping against Atropa? What's that going to mean for against legal? Like it's just going to go parabolic against legal. Then all of a sudden you've got another play here, another bear market play where you could go, well, you know what? I like legal. Legal's connected to all these other tokens that I love, and I want to accumulate more of those tokens. So slowly, then parabolic, for example. So then, yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to think, well, the party's not going to last forever with down. I'm going to start taking profits into legal. And then with that legal, maybe legal is, again, I've only looked at the charts that were set up within the first 2 months of the Pulsechain launch, but legal might be like a really good play against, I don't know, teddy bear, for example. You say, oh, well, I love teddy bear. I think it's going to go for another cycle. So I want to accumulate the crap out of legal, because legal to teddy bear could be a really good buy. These are the kinds of things that I'm always trying to like think about. And I mean, honestly, I think if this is to be a success, it really needs to do this. If this is to be a truly decentralized financial system, Maria needs to be able to pull this off. That's what I feel. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's just what I feel. But I also feel like Maria will have tricks up his sleeve. I mean, like during what was still considered a bear market when Pulsechain launched, we were exiting out of a bear market. Atropa was pumping. There was all this exciting stuff happening within the Atropa ecosystem, all these Easter eggs to hunt for, all these tokens people were finding. So I really do think Maria is probably going to do exactly the same in the bear market as well. So it's going to continue to keep, like maybe he'll end up setting something up where it's like compared to legal. So then it'll make you want to have legal, because if you have legal, then you can have all these other new tokens. So he's going to keep creating this like ever expanding ecosystem and web that's going to lock the liquidity in here and keep people like speculating within the ecosystem, rather than what happened with Hex, where it's just 56 cents, take it out, and then take it to an exchange off ramp, spend it on stuff. Nothing wrong with spending it on stuff, but I think it would be much more successful as a total ecosystem if this maintains like a strength within not only a bull market but a bear market as well. If it's strong in the bear market, we're goated. There's nothing close to it in all of cryptocurrency. And just from the signs that I'm seeing, I really do think that we are going to be goated in the bear market. I really, really do think that. I know it's the holy grail, and I know everybody says it, but I'm not just saying it by hoping and praying. I'm actually looking at the data, looking at the liquidity setups, and looking at the ratios between the different tokens, and it very much is looking like it could present this kind of opportunity. So down in Atropa is another, down in teddy bear. So yeah, I mean, just think about, wow, look at all the volume that flowed through here in this particular period as well. So even doing this, like you see these little clues. I mean, the ratio has not changed a great deal, but that's a 50%. So, you know, if you swapped your down into teddy bear at these bottoms, you could have like plus 50% on your bags of teddy bear. There's just so many little opportunities like this. So you'd have to look at the total liquidity in there. I haven't actually looked at the liquidity. Now, here's where the multi-charts kind of sucks. When you have it on multi-charts, it just doesn't show the data on some of these tokens, which don't get a lot of liquidity that flow through them. So I've brought them up on the side. So this is the first one here. So now this is, man, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this symbol means, and I don't know what this means either. Does anyone know what languages these are? I don't even know what languages they are. But yeah, here's an interesting little thing. So obviously, whatever happened here, probably Maria just dumped the absolute living shit out of this token. And then, or yeah, basically it's just slowly started to go up, and just like G-Baby. I mean, doesn't this look exactly like G-Baby? Does anyone recognize this kind of a chart with G-Baby that the Guat? This looks exactly like the G-Baby that the Guat. Does it not? I mean, obviously, I mean, this is the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Actually, let's go to the 3 daily. I mean, I don't know if Maria did all this in one day or not, but it looks very much like G-Baby that the Guat. So yeah, there's that. Also, I just did a tweet about this. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm looking on the screen here, but have a look at this cheeky little thing here. I've seen this as I was doing this, setting this up. I saw this across not just one pair. If it was one pair, I'd be like, oh, well, that's a glitch. This is across multiple pairs. This was across multiple pairs. It wasn't on this particular pair, but it was on multiple pairs. I just tweeted it out as I was doing this. I know KDP did a tweet about showing like Pulsechain had a glitch that it did like 2300x. You know, these I couldn't find. I went through like I saw it on the Atropa and Die pair. I couldn't find it there. I couldn't find any kind of trade there. But the fact that I saw it across multiple pairs, it's more than just a glitch. Something's cooking here. Something's cooking here. Whether this is another little signal, I don't know. I don't know. But this is also where Gecko terminal is superior because you can't actually see this. You can't see this on Dex Screener, but you can see it on Gecko Terminal, interestingly enough. But this is to USD. You can't actually see it against the actual token itself. So yeah, the definition is really quite different as well with Gecko Terminal. So you can see how like the wicks are more pronounced. The amount of volume it shows is a lot different. So if you have a look at this, it's a lot more accurate, put it this way. So here you've got NA, 24-hour volume, NA. But on here, it's showing the 24-hour volume. This is also why whenever these things happen, whenever we do get those massive spike things, it just like wigs out the whole system. So for me, again, I'm just like, well, it's not just a glitch. It's not just a glitch because literally when I try to use Gecko Terminal after those points, the whole thing just shits itself because this is so accurate. It's reading like even all the arbitrage. So when something like that happens, it just sends like a wave, a pulse throughout the whole ecosystem, throughout the whole Atropa ecosystem, which is sending a pulse throughout all of Pulsechain. And so all the pairs that this happens in is also like it's creating an arbitrage opportunity between every single pair. So it might only be like one trade up and down, and the arbitrage bot's just going to quickly take it back down to its price, but it's happening across tens of thousands of liquidity pools. You don't get that glitch with Dex Screener because it doesn't actually read the definition of the volume and the arbitrage, whereas this does. So whenever that's happened, because I remember that the same thing happened when PETA went up to 60 cents, the exact same thing. Remember when I was trying to check this yesterday? What's the date today? So today's the 7th. This happened on the 6th. I was trying to check this. Sorry, today's the 8th. That thing happened on the 6th. Remember I was checking this yesterday and it was Gecko Terminal was like clogging up on the screen and it was just not loading. So it like live on screen, I'm showing it to you. So to me, these are just like endless signs. It's not, these things aren't something's happening. Shit's cooking in the background. So it just gives me more and more conviction in all of Pulsechain. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's continue. So now we're having a look at TSFI. Yeah, I mean TSFI and this one, not a great deal is kind of being shown here, but it does represent a pretty interesting ratio that's been occurring for see, this is the problem. See, it's only been showing it since the 4th of September because the data again just doesn't fully show. So again, this token, and then this is with Yule. So let's have a look here. So again, another scenario. So it's like, in other words, this token here was created. So the first token was created with the specific, actually was created with the specific intention of like pumping the rest of the ecosystem. So all he had to do was basically bond this token to, like, say, the Atropa token, which might have had like a bunch of liquidity into it, bond it to that. That gives it liquidity, and then just dump the shit out of it. And then dump the shit out of it into these other pools. And then these other pools are pumping into other stuff. So again, same thing with G Baby that the Guat. So now this is with you. I'm pretty sure I saw the same thing on here as well. Did I see it on here? I did not see it on here. So yeah, same chart. So, or essentially the same chart. Like, look at the difference in the definition. There's a lot of arbitrage. So yeah, $445 of arbitrage volume, 1 million in liquidity. Here, nothing. So this is why Dex Screener is just not as good. So what was the next couple? So we've got 2 more to go here. So this is yeah, this is a bit of a pity. So maybe I might bring the problem is some of these pairs I couldn't actually. So I think we're finished with this one here. So let's I'll try bringing this one up on here. Yeah, remember when I was looking at Milady yesterday? Milady's had a massive pump too. That was good to see. So hopefully people are in some profits there. Yeah, like just sometimes it doesn't show the full definition. So 11th of September, but this liquidity pool was created in But look at this. Look at this chart though. Like, even though there's not a great deal of volume that's happening into it, it's really just like supposed to be some kind of up and to the right. It's set up in that kind of a way. And I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see, at least until the end of the bull market, the chart just predictably do this. Oops. Because everything's just set up in harmony with other things. It's like a mathematical harmony. So it wouldn't surprise me if it just keeps doing something like this. So this is the Atropa ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen. It's a masterpiece. It's a beautiful thing. And that's why I'm always looking at the totality. I'm not looking at I mean, I do look at individual tokens, obviously, but individual tokens they interest me less and less as the days go by. I'll be perfectly honest with you, because I love this concept of this total system. So now this is riding with DAI. This was also one that was created. Yeah. Doesn't really say a great deal, except that PDAI has a lot of strength against this particular token. So like I said, I've only just skimmed the surface. So this is only just the first 2 months, and it's not all the liquidity pools. So the Atropa ecosystem, obviously yesterday, as I showed, the Atropa token itself was set up with a whole bunch of PRC20s, Milady being one of them. So for the culture, I think Milady's awesome. But there was a bunch of other tokens, Doge, Zen, I think I saw Cookie, just a bunch of random shit in there. So, all right, before I get on to the next stage. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, what did I see from this? Not a great deal. Not a great deal. I think seeing this, for me, was very important. The down to Atropa, the down to legal, the relationship between that is very important to me. This is only something that I discovered just yesterday or whenever I was going over this chart for the first time with you guys. I feel like that is very important. So for me, if I'm thinking about the bear market, I want to keep my very close eye on TSFI and down. And then I want to also keep a very, very close eye on legal, and just keep a close eye on maybe what Maria is doing in the bear market with legal, if he ends up doing anything with legal, or just what legal's bonded to. So if down ends up just mooning, then yeah, I just want to be ready to capture things, because if this is the scenario that ends up playing out, it really needs to be a better line than that, for goodness sakes. If this is a scenario that does end up playing out, let's just say I want to be all over it. I want to be all over the right kind of tokens to be in at the right time. I want to know what I should be in here. I want to know what I should be in here. I want to know what I should be in here. So even though now my bags are tiny, I want to, if this plays out, I want to be reading the market in such a way that I can just keep growing my bags. Because if this does play out, then this is a forever system. This is a system that's going to last until capitalism itself collapses. So even though, and I've mentioned this a few times, and I don't want to like piss on anybody's parade, but I do believe that all of this, because it's tied to capitalism, it will eventually fail. So as beautiful and elegant as this is, it will eventually fail because capitalism will fail. It's reaching its limits. Perhaps things like this can help us lead to what the new financial system is going to be, but I don't think the new financial system is going to be founded on any of these existing cryptocurrencies. I had someone in here the other day, Stu Lovell, talking about XRP and Quant as the new financial system, and XLM and HBAR. No. Like it'll have a niche within this current financial system, but it's not the new financial system. The new financial system is when capitalism ends. It's an unsustainable system that lives off continuous growth. We cannot continue to exist that way. So capitalism will reach its limit, and the whole financial system will change completely. And then maybe AI and metaverse will be like helping us develop the new financial system. Maybe AI will develop it for us. I have no idea. So before I get into the next alpha, I think that's a pretty good thing to keep in mind, just to continue to watch. I think some of these teddy bear, like teddy bear to Atropa, teddy bear to down, like anything with teddy bear, if you can swap things in a ratio, and you love teddy bear, and you can just grab a cheeky double, like, I mean, you don't even need a cheeky double, even a cheeky plus 50 with teddy bear. If you can grab a cheeky plus 50 with your teddy bear here, and you end up swapping like I don't know, whatever. So Atropa, if you swap Atropa to teddy bear down here, I mean, it's a risk, but it certainly seems like there's ranges forming, but it is a risk. And I wouldn't say go ahead and do it, but I'm just saying, like, these are certain things that you can actually look at. So especially if you're a small bag holder like myself. So that's another thing. And then not too much more. I mean, this was a quite interesting one I found. Did we have a look? Did we look closer into this one? So there are two Korean symbols here. So we brought this one up. What date is this going to give us? So for some reason, they'll only end up showing to the start of January. Why? So this must have been when Gecko Terminal got set up or something. But it's fascinating because for this particular token, it goes all the way back to May when it was launched. But for these tokens, that the data is not showing fully on Dex Screener, all of them that I tried to bring up, for some reason, it was only the start of the year. So, hey, maybe there's another clue there. What happened at the start of the year? Anything in particular? I mean, was that when Gecko Terminal really became something? I mean, the start of the year, that's only a month. So, yeah. Oh, actually, no. Some of them were start of the year and some of them were the start of previous year, perhaps, like January 2024. So, all right, before I get to the very end, let's just go over some of these comments. Wait till BFF. I mean, yeah, man, BFF breaking 8K again. That would be awesome. So, good morning, Alex. Keen to hear your insight onto the Fed FUD. I saw a video on that. The Maria did a video. I haven't actually looked into it, to be perfectly honest with you. So, what's this? With the ink rate cut, is it worth keeping a PulseX V1? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it depends, right? Because it depends, because it can pump a lot. I mean, look at this. It's already pumped heaps already, right? So it can pump a lot easier. That's the thing. So it's like, okay, well, you're getting less yield in token count, but in dollar amount, you might still be getting a decent amount. So, I mean, it depends what you're going to do with that Pulse and Pulse X. So, I mean, if this ends up shooting up to $10, well, yeah, it was a good idea to keep it in there, because getting 10x yield down here at $1.50, but then it comes up to here at $10. Well, it's like, well, yeah, you're pretty much getting just as much in dollar value. So I don't know. That's for you to decide. That's a hard one, Puffy. It really depends on what you would do with that Pulse and Pulse X. You could put it into a V2. You could put it into a V2 where you're going to get the tokens on either side, or you could swap it into other things. It really just depends. So Genesis Mindset, indeed, sir. Do you think Shill Gates will come on your channel to discuss the ecosystem? That's a great question, Big Dog. I should ask him, actually. I really need to ask him. I need to get more people on. And hey, did I mention it? If anyone wants to join, I always put the link to join. If people want to join, please, it's a Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. here. Like, I don't know, maybe people are scared to come and have a yarn, but the floor is open. You don't have to have a camera. You don't have to have a good microphone. You don't have to know the ins and outs of Atropa. I'm a very easygoing guy. I'm very comfortable to talk to. So if you want to just jump on, say hello, share some information, please do, because it makes it more interesting for everybody when I'm talking to others as well, rather than just, I mean, I'm talking to you guys, but it just makes it more interesting when there's a conversation as well. So I should really ask Shill Gates what he knows about Atropa and if he wants to come on and chat about it. So I was thinking about this while driving yesterday as well. How long has James been thinking out the Atropa ecosystem? You're right, bro. Like, I mean, if we go back to the original YouTube video where he was talking about, or that video that was in the there was that dysnomia video, James Ellis Osborne, and he's talking about dysnomia. FOSDEM, 2018. So what are we in? 2025. So that was however many years ago that was. That was 7 years ago. So in 7 years, so this is one of his tattoos here. So 7 years ago, Jimbo did this video, and he was talking about dysnomia there. That was 7 years ago. So this is definitely a long time ago. So thanks, Grumpy. I appreciate that, man. It all goes a long way for me, honestly. Thank you very much. I won't go into my monetary situation. I can always sell crypto to get by, but I really don't want to. So these little bits and pieces really help, because I'm really kind of hoping that I can pour more energy into YouTube and at least make like an income from YouTube where it will get me by. I've got enough to get by now, but to be more like comfortable to get by, so to speak. And then once this bull market ends, hopefully if I play my cards right, then I'm still going to continue to do YouTube, but I won't need to rely on the YouTube income, because basically at the moment I pretty much rely on doing the ads, getting the ads and super chats to get me by. So, or at least to like get me a little bit extra. You know, my family lives in Western Australia, for example, so my cousin's got his 30th birthday next month, and the flights are so cheap. But I'm like, oh man, gosh, you know, getting a return flight, it's not that much, but yeah, I don't like it's just too much of my disposable income. It's like 50% of my disposable income to fly there. But maybe in the future, after this bull market, I'll just be like, yep, I want to go see my cousin for the weekend. It's his 30th birthday. I haven't seen my family for a year, whatever. Like, I'm literally over here by myself. My whole family's in Western Australia. I'm just going to do it. So all this stuff means the world to me, Grumpy Schnauzer. So I really appreciate it, man. Magic Carpet Ride coming soon. Yeah, I've been keeping my eyes on that. That definitely seems like it's been going like insane. So hit the likes. If Steven is interested, I'm sure Shield Gates will be willing. Let me know if you need me to reach out. I'll make it happen. We follow each other, so I can just have a chat with him. I'll see what he knows. I'll see what he knows about the Atropa ecosystem and Peter, actually, because I know people love Shield Gates. I might do that. You know what? Oh, actually, I better not, because I don't know what I was DMing him about. I have DM'd him before, but I'll DM him. I'll DM him again. So pulse coins are nicely green on the bubbles compared to the rest of the market. Yeah, and this, I mean, look again. It's a holy grail. It's a holy grail. Like, we've all heard it before. Like, oh, this is gonna skip the bear market. This is gonna be the super cycle. But if in the totality of the global financial system, if you're the big banks, you don't get a bear market. You don't get a bear market when stocks are going down. You're just you're the one that's creating the top in the stocks. You're the banks that are creating the top in the stocks. And then you're rotating it into something else. And then what are you doing? Whatever you're rotating it in, then you're the one that's creating the bottom of that new asset class that you're rotating into, which ends up creating a pump. So the totality of the system, of the global financial system, if we can replicate that here, I don't see any reason why we can't skip the bear market. I don't see any reason why, honestly speaking. But that also really depends on if the incentives are there. So when I look at things like legal, again, maybe Jimbo does something, Maria does something where it incentivizes people to want to swap their down into legal, and then he does something with legal, or he does something with down and creates this whole like ecosystem around down and legal to make you like keep getting gains in the bear market in there and play in there and get a 5x here and a 10x there. That's all it's going to take. Not everybody needs to take all their money out at the same time. If I think about my own instances, I only want to create I just want to make a design and build a meditation center every few years. I mean, that's a few $1,000,000, but it's not a small thing, to be perfectly honest, but I'm not going to take it all out all at once. So I would want to keep enough in the system that I can continue to grow it. So if enough people have that mindset and there's enough reason for them to actually stay here, that's what's going to make it interesting. So definitely hit the likes. I appreciate that, Mr. Hexologist Heart. Bitcoin bear market is only 1 year. Typically, altcoins are a different story. Exactly, Jesu. So yeah, it's usually about 1 year of like a savage drop, and then it's like a slow, gradual rise for the next 2 years, and then a parabolic for the next year. So Grumpy Schnauzer. Schnauzers are my favorite breed. Had one that lives 17 years. Schnauzers are very, very cute. So, hey, Grumpy Schnauzer, you're from Perth. Perth is goated. Wow. We got some Perth people up in here. So 100% of legal supply was burned to 50% of down. Yeah. Wow. There you go. So the Don legal target, it's 100. Not far from the target. So what's the legal target at the moment? What's legal at the moment? Legal target, it's 100. Not far from the target. I gotta flip it. Flippity-roo. Flip dip. Invert the pair. So it's $5. So if the target is 100, what's that? A 25x to 100? Is that correct? So yeah, right. Okay. There you go. That's interesting, Don. And because 100% of the supply was burned to 50% of down, there's no sell pressure. So just that piece of Don, you need to get some voice masking thing or something. You've always got so much alpha, bro. Because you were before, like, I mean, you were before me. You're before like pretty much anyone that I know. So that's a great piece of alpha right there about legal. So there you go. So down is going up, and then maybe down pumps, and then that pumps into legal, and then who knows what? Maybe Maria builds something around legal. So maybe remove if you feel so. Okay, that's the puffy. Does this kind of glitch ever happen to any other coins on any other network? I haven't looked at it enough, Richard, to know. To be perfectly honest with you, I noticed it with when PDI hit 60 cents that time, just before we had the big drop. I think it was a couple of months ago, and I've noticed it just recently. And then I noticed that I can't access anything on Gecko Terminal. It would take forever for the chart to load. It would take forever for the website to load, so I end up just giving up. But I haven't actually noticed it in any other ecosystem. So it could be a glitch, but the fact that it happens across multiple pairs makes sense with Hart's law. So if I see that happen with my Lao token, where my Lao token is bonded with PDI, and then that also shoots up because PDI shoots up to 60 cents, and then my Lao token also shoots up due to Hart's law, it's a bit of a... It's just not something that I would say is a glitch, put it that way. And to be perfectly honest, I think I remember when I looked at the Lao token, it was my Lao token with maybe affection. I was looking at a different pool that wasn't even PDI. But what's happening there is PDI shoots up, which is shooting up all the pools that it's connected to, which is also shooting up my token, which is connected to PDI in another pool, but also all the pool that I was currently looking at with my token shoots up because it's connected to PDI also. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I haven't actually looked at other ecosystems to know. So it's very hard to say that it's a coincidence, to be perfectly honest. So with core coins pumping right now, if I had any new capital to put in, I think Atropa is probably a good bet right now. Anyone else think so? I do. I really do. Yeah, I mean, let's go back to showing it in USD. And even though it shouldn't really look at things in USD, it's going to be a similar kind of chart with Pulsechain. It's dipping. It's dipping. Atropa is dipping. So it's going down. So, I mean, I certainly think it could, but I also certainly think, I mean, for me, it's not outside the realms of possibility for it to come this far. Oh. Yeah, it's not outside the realms of possibility for it to come this far. But remember, if this ends up with down, if this ends up being some kind of a ratio. So at the moment, what's this, 8th of July? What? How have I looked at this? How's this work? 8th of I've been looking at this, hang on, 15th of July. It should have been the other way around. This is really weird now, actually. So previously, as this was going down, so this should be the around about July here. So September, August, July, around here. So Atropa pumped, and then down was going down. And then if Atropa was going to... I mean, really, Atropa should be pumping at the minute. But down, Atropa is going stronger against down, but then Atropa is going down as well. So this is actually really quite interesting. But of course, it's not going to be like direct. But this was one of the things that I was looking at. When if it broke this line, which it did, then it should mean that Atropa is bullish. And it was until pump tires happened. So that's just kind of throwing this correlation a bit into the spin. So yeah, look, I think it's, if I had dry powder, I would be putting in more, put it that way. So not financial advice. Maybe with Elon Musk's chip in our head, it will be a credit issued finance based on right think. That's me bankrupt. Oh, Richard. Yeah, I think in a weird kind of way, that would be like it's not a good thing for that to happen, but it would force people into like developing a righteous mind. So what's going on, Matt? Good morning, Speaker Freaker. What's going on for Tina? Oh, come on, Matt. You can always jump in here, bro. You, sir, your channel are amazing. Information, great view, considering important factors. Bless you. Judo88, I don't think I've ever seen you in here, brother. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. So we're getting to the end of the comments here before I go into the last piece of information. Something, it's getting built around TSFI. It's on GitHub. Something is getting built around TSFI. It's on GitHub. Which, are you talking about Busy Toby, Maria's GitHub on that one, Don? What's going on, David? The ratio Atropa to down should end up at around 1 to about a half. So about should end up 1 to half. So basically you're saying it should end up here? Is that what you're saying, Don? Yeah, see, Don, I don't know if Don was like paying attention to all the early days of the Atropa chat. Like, I need to go back and really assess all of that too. So maybe that's what it's, if it's supposed to go all the way up. Oh, half. Okay. So it should end up. So half. So you're saying the ratio should end up here, Don? So if that's the case, then maybe in the bear market, in the bear market, so maybe it does something like this, and then in the bear market it just goes up all the way up into this region here. So ZKZX flying $10 Atropa. I see. Okay, $10 Atropa down is $5. It's the target. So gotcha. So that's what's going to determine the ratio. Okay, fair enough. Do I follow Elliott wave theory for Tina? I don't deny Elliott wave theory, but I don't really do it or follow it, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think it's definitely valid within certain cryptos, but I'm not sure how valid it is within the Atropa ecosystem because, well, maybe with something like this, it certainly seems quite valid. But when you look at something like this, it doesn't look valid at all. So I think the Elliott waves maybe more apply to things like Bitcoin, where it's just like a linear system where money's flowing in, liquidity is flowing in, but this is not a linear system. So that makes it more tricky. So, but I actually do like the concept of the Elliott waves. So, okay, let's get into the alpha now. So again, the bear market hedge. So for me, I'm thinking down is a bear market hedge. So then when I was looking at this, I mean, it's fairly obvious, but you have bullion. I didn't even look at bullion 5. Shit. I need to look at bullion 5 actually as well. I'm going to bring that one up. I'll duplicate this. I've got bullion 8 here. I'll just get this ready to load up. Bullion 5. So while that loads, so bullion 8 was here. Bullion 8, which was token number 22. And I think, okay, so bullion 8, look at the bonding with down and bullion 8. So if down is a bear market hedge, and then again, in the concept of financial systems, gold is a risk-off asset. So if down is pumping as we're heading into the bear market, and then down with bullion is the biggest liquidity pool by almost 50% compared to plus. Look at the liquidity pool with Teddy Bear. I can really see bullion being something where profits get locked into it. So it's like bullion becomes a potential bear market hedge where we're risk off, the Atropa ecosystem's all dumping, but then bullion pumps, like gold will pump when stocks are going down. Also, there's this cheeky little one, and this is a much newer one that Maria has created. So I've got this liquidity pool here, and its biggest pool is with bullion. And what is it? It's gold standard. Gold standard. And then one of its biggest bondings is with Treasury bill. It's not huge. And then this Korean token as well. So down, Teddy Bear, Poppy, and gold standard with bullion, I think is very telling because bullion is just, I think bullion means gold. So I just wanted to share that, and then let's have a look at what Bullion 5 is. So, well, Bullion 5 is tiny actually. So Coinbase TM PTGC affection Bullion 5. Interesting. Okay. All right. I don't really know what's going on with Bullion 5. I'll be perfectly honest with you. So it's quite, the liquidity is quite small, 29 million. What's the liquidity on this? So yeah, 3.5 million. But obviously, if this becomes like a hedge, then the liquidity here is just gonna rocket. It's really just gonna rocket. And I wonder what the total supply. Let's have a look at what the total supply of bullion is. I'll shift this now over to here. What did we say? So bullion 8. Because yeah, one of these bullions is the correct bullion, and then there's another one that doesn't really work. I think it's the first one, number 22, that works. So we can see here current supply. Oh man, maybe it's not that one. So I don't know which one it is. So what I will do is actually just bring up the. So while this loads up, what's going on, Clifford? Mr. Hexucation. Good morning, Scotty from Long Beach, California. Is this beginning of the final pump? Is this okay? When you say the final pump, I look at this where we are now as like as where Hex was after big payday. So we're now entering into like the hockey stick phase. So for me, it's like 3 to 6 months, which means there's going to be like pump and dumps within that 3 to 6 months. But yeah, I guess that's just my thinking around it. So let's get these contract addresses for Bullion 8. Actually, what I should do is I should get it from here because the other one didn't work. So this one here. So it must be the second one, 9F4. So we'll get that one. Let's also just... what? Oh, then there was FF4. And this one. That's an interesting comment, Richard. We are currently about a 3x away on ink for the APR in the farms to return to where they were. $9 ink incoming. Great comment. Yeah, great comment. There you go. So, yeah, it could be. It could be as a way of like incentivizing not too many people to pull the liquidity out. That's actually a really interesting perspective, because if too much liquidity gets pulled out, then yeah, that's a really interesting perspective. I like the thinking around that actually. So, all right. Okay. Yeah, so this one, FF4, is token number 22, I think. Yeah, so that's the fake Bullion 8, and then this is the real one here. So this one has 393 holders, 879,000 supply, and I think like 90% of it was in liquidity, and then 773 is in liquidity. So yeah, that's about like what, 90% in liquidity. So yeah, I don't know. For me, when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, because I'm trying to look at this as like, hey, crypto compassion, what's going on, brother? I'm trying to look at this like, I really want this to be a system that becomes a bear market hedge. So it looks like James Maria has put the pieces in place for this to be a bear market hedge. The fact that down is a hedge against Atropa and gold is generally a hedge against risk on assets, it's almost like he's setting this up. And then also Teddy Bear being the second biggest liquidity pool, like, I don't know, man. Like if you got Teddy Bear and it's just a way of keeping the liquidity in the system. So when Teddy Bear if which I believe Teddy Bear is going to be the premier meme coin on Pulsechain. If Teddy Bear is a premier meme coin on Pulsechain, this could be a very, very viable option for people to actually store their teddy bear. Rather than putting it into a stable coin, they might go, you know what? I'm going to swap my teddy bear into bullion, and then bullion's going to pump. And then from bullion, I'll put it into a stable coin. Potentially something like this. I don't really know. But even then, there's always going to be a point where people are going to take the liquidity out and put it into a stable coin. But who knows? Maybe if bullion just slowly rises, maybe over a year it rises slowly, and teddy bear just slowly goes down. Maybe bullion, the people who put it into bullion then go, well, all right, awesome. Now the ratio between bullion and teddy bear, you know what? Let's have a look at this. Let's just have a look at this, because why not? And actually, just in case, I might... oh, nice. 9th of the 9th. Good month. Good month. 9th. September. Great month. A lot of very exceptional people born in September. I've been watching so much. Oh my goodness, so something funny in my mind, but something from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Let's have a look at this. Bullion and teddy bear. 195k liquidity, 5k volume. Wow, bullion's holding itself up quite well against teddy bear, to be perfectly honest. Wow. Wow. Really holding itself up quite well. I mean, you can get a... So now it's kind of created this range here where there's like this... I mean, look at this. Look at these ranges all across the Atropa ecosystem. So this is a 50% range, 60% range. So obviously now... So yeah, I mean, people are cycling funds from teddy bear into bullion. How fascinating. This is also going to be something that I'm going to have to look more closely into. So maybe this, if we see something like this, okay, so if you see something like this until the end of the bull market, and then all of a sudden the ratio goes like this because teddy bear is super overpowered against bullion, then it might incentivize people to swap their teddy bear back into bullion, knowing that the ratio should be around about here. It should be. I mean, should being very like subjective kind of a word, but oh no. Anyway, so then what's that? If it comes down to the very lows there, yeah, you can get a 2x on your, well, 1.5x on your teddy bear. So I don't know. I just wanted to like open up the ideas there. The fact that down is bonded with bullion and bullion with gold standard. It's making me think that there's a possibility for a bear market hedge. It's making me think that I definitely want to be keeping my eyes on these things as we get towards the end of the bull market. And I'm going to continue to report on these things. So I might leave it at that. And then again, maybe tomorrow or the next day, I'll go into like the next, I'll go into August, July, August, and September. I think July, August, and September. Definitely, Maria was cooking a lot in September. Actually, well, shoot, I got to go to July first. Actually, June, July, August. Maybe I'll do June, July, August, and the next episode I'll do September because wow, September's got heaps. Oh, September's got so many. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. What's going on, TS Pedro? What's going on, Mr. Rock Jockey? Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Again, almost 400 people watching. So if you found this useful, please like, subscribe, share it out. Consider sharing it with friends who you think might get some value out of this kind of information. I really do feel like this information is like extremely valuable, but maybe I'm biased. I mean, even when I go and listen to it, I'm like, damn, there's some serious alpha in this, but maybe I'm biased. I'm not too sure. So anyway, thanks very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.